Welcome back to the ACB Wrestling Talk channel, your main source for wrestling news and wrestling discussions. I am, of course, your host, Alexis Carrillo, and let's get into some wrestling talk. And, of course, with all this news coming out about how WWE has brought in new executive directors for Raw and for SmackDown, and how SmackDown Live is going to be heading over to Fox in October, and AEW is going to be debuting on TNT in October. Most of the other wrestling companies, Impact, Ring of Honor, MLW, NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, NXT, you can name them all. They seem to be a little bit lost in the shuffle, but hey, right here, right now, there are some breaking news, some big news as a matter of fact, regarding the NWA. Of course, Billy Corgan, the president and owner of the National Wrestling Alliance, recently posted on his YouTube channel, on the NWA's YouTube channel, that the NWA, after having owned that company, after having bought that property almost 2 years ago, the NWA would finally have a weekly televised show, which is something that nobody expected, because if you look at the current status of the National Wrestling Alliance, there's pretty much an NWA World Champion. There's an NWA, what's it called? North American Champion? Oh wait, that's NXT something. I can't remember the name of the mid-card title, but the fact of the matter is, they don't have a roster, they don't have a TV deal, nothing seems in place for this to happen, and yet Billy Corgan comes out with these news that on October they will be holding their first television tapings in Atlanta, Georgia. These are great news. These are big news, because this means that we have yet another company, another wrestling brand on a television deal. Now, how big of a TV deal that is, we have yet to find out. But hey, if you're a wrestling fan, you should be celebrating that we are getting more and more diversity, more and more of these companies gaining a little bit more of success. With that in mind, those are not the only news coming out of the NWA. Recently, Nick Aldis gave an interview to Daily DDT where he stated and he revealed that he recently turned down an offer from All Elite Wrestling. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, AEW is not bulletproof. AEW is not a sure thing. If AEW offers a contract to a wrestler, it's not 100% sure that they're going to take it. And the fact is that Nick Aldis revealed that AEW Executive Vice President Cody wanted him to just pretty much dump the NWA World's title. He wanted him to dump all his work over the past 2 years with the NWA, which of course Nick Aldis was not gonna be doing, which in my opinion and from my point of view surprises me, because last year's big match going into All In was the NWA World Title match between Nick Aldis and Cody. They built that up. They built that event up around that match. And now AEW has a TV deal, and now they're offering big money contracts, throwing money around, and they want to bring in a talent like Nick Aldis. That's fine, that's good. He's a talented man. But Nick Aldis, we've seen it in the past. He turned down a contract from Impact Wrestling because he felt he wasn't being valued enough in that contract. So he turned it down, and now he's turning down an offer from AEW. So it seems that Nick Aldis has certain core values that he respects more than any contract or any money offer coming from this big behemoth of a company called AEW, who now is poised to possibly challenge and possibly compete with the WWE. Now, all of this, Nick Aldis staying with the NWA, him being the current holder of the 10 pounds of gold, and Billy Corgan announcing this new weekly NWA TV series with a TV deal yet to be announced. What more news coming out of the NWA? Well, that's the fact that the last of a dying breed, Eli Drake, recently signed with the National Wrestling Alliance after being fired, unceremoniously fired from Impact Wrestling, which kind of bummed me out. You know, I'm a big Impact Wrestling fan. I'm a big Eli Drake fan. I wanted him to be the face of Impact Wrestling. I certainly believe that Eli Drake is the kind of performer, both in that ring and on that mic, that can carry a company on his back, and that he could be a face of a brand. And it seems that right now, he's going to be the face of the NWA. Make no mistake about it, Nick Aldis is still NWA World Champion, and you know, you have to give respects to the current champion and the current man who's held that company on his back, who's carried that company on his back over the past 2 years. But if you really want to gain the interest of wrestling fans for this new weekly television series, you gotta go with Nick Aldis and Eli Drake feuding, having a big, fat, juicy rivalry over the 10 pounds of gold. If that happens, hell, even if that doesn't happen, you know I'll be watching. And all I've got to say right now is congratulations to Billy Corgan, to Nick Aldis, to Eli Drake, to everyone working in the NWA, to everyone who has worked with the NWA over the past 2 years, because they finally seem to be poised to certainly relaunch the brand into mainstream. And hopefully that happens, because we need all wrestling brands to succeed. But of course, those are my thoughts on all these big NWA news, on all these big NWA situations. What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts and comments on the comments section below. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, what do you think? Leave it right there in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. That's it for me. Till next time.